What's going on, everybody? We are back in the building, the NBA report. You see it. What's happening?
It's two of your favorite people, Ron and John of Still Knicks fans, holding it down in the NBA report. How's it going, my brother? How you?
I'm good, man. How are you, bro?
I'm good. I'm as good as we can be right now. You know, staying blessed, trying to stay humble. You know.
I mean, listen, that's all you can really do, man. That's why I like being around you, bro. Humble guy.
Try to be.
Hey, man, that's all you can do. Hopefully everybody out there, hopefully you guys are doing good. Appreciate y'all. Thank you for tuning in. I see Max Callie's in the building. Sherwin's here. Manny's here. Comega's in the building. Stream Elements is here. Man, Stream Elements, man. You everywhere now. I don't know what you are yet, but I'm going to figure it out. I know you something.
Well, I appreciate y'all for jumping on right away with us, right? Because we got a lot in store. This is going to be a jam-packed conversation with everything that's going on in the NBA. Not to mention, we haven't even talked about the Kyrie situation. We never post that, right?
Wow. Well, it's funny. I mean, it's almost like you said this, and I got breaking news right over my thing about Kyrie. We might as well start the show with this, folks, since it's breaking news. I mean, hey,
let's go.
That's how it works, man. This is why live YouTube is fantastic, folks. You get it while it's hot.
Right.
So, to John's point, this whole situation with Kyrie Irving, I don't know exactly how to say what it all involves, because a lot of people don't know what it all involves. He's part of a production. And in that production, there is a feeling that there might be some anti-Semitic sentiments in the production. However, not too many people have even seen the production to tell what's what or what's going on, but that's the feeling. And, so Kyrie Irving has been getting grilled about it for quite some time now. And as recently as, the last game, they interviewed him again about it. And he's just being Kyrie Irving. You guys know how Kyrie is. He doesn't like to get into a lot of stuff. He doesn't want to give you what he doesn't want to give you. He'll give you what he feels he wants to talk to you about, and that's it. He's not apologetic, nor do I know if he needs to be apologetic. I know that the situation is very touch and go, and it's a serious thing, but I don't know what's going on. So that's the thing. So and I'll get John's take on this as well. Like, the public perception is obviously he's a part of something that's in a negative connotation, but we don't know what it is. I still don't know what's in the movie. I have no clue. So it's just hard to talk about something when you don't know exactly what it is. And maybe it's my own, ignorance for not knowing, because I haven't really seen much about what is actually in the production. So, John, what's your thoughts on it?
I'm right there along with you, man. I'm so busy throughout my day that I hear bits and pieces of what's going on. And at the end of the day, for me, I can't place judgment on another person that is whether they, are looked at as being anti-Semitic, or, or if they're trolling or whatever it is they think he's doing right now. He's becoming the marked man, right? I mean, it was Kanye West, and then now it's Kyrie. And so whatever the situation is, at the end of the day, he's a basketball player. He gets paid to play basketball. His opinion on stuff, however, his platform is huge and is larger than most people. And my opinion shouldn't matter. But again, that's just my opinion. He's paid to play basketball. Allow the man to play basketball. Now, if he came out and outwardly said certain things to the behest of being anti-Semitic, then I understand. If he's just posting something for the sake of posting it and allowing you to make your own judgment, I'm a bit, I'm a bit even on each side, right? I understand the point, although I haven't seen it for myself. I understand the reasoning for people to be angry, but I'm not really sure what's the why folks are going so hard to to point him out as the only outlier, when there's so many other famous people who have their stance and use their platform for the same, if not different causes, right? Like we've heard the other side of it from other folks in the entertainment business, and they aren't really like tracking that as much as they're trying to track this, you know what I mean? Or make him the marked man. I think yesterday's game he had, like after yesterday's game, he had like almost every station affiliate, CBS, MSNBC, NBC, Fox, all of them wanted to get an answer from Kyrie Irving. And I think it's a bit unfair. But it is what it is.
I agree. Like, here's the thing, there's no love lost between my feelings for Kyrie Irving. I don't like him personally. I've never mixed words about it. He's just not my cup of tea. How he carries himself is how he carries himself. I just don't prefer it. He still has a right to be a human being and a right to feel the way he feels, but he hasn't said he feels a certain way. I mean, he's tried to be coy and say, well, how can I be anti-Semitic when I know my history,
my African roots, right?
Right. You know what I mean? So I just, like sometimes people just want you to be point blank. Either it is this or it's not this, and then move on. You know what I mean? This is basketball. Nobody wants to hear this other stuff. We want to see basketball. This is all becoming political and all this other things, and it's turning into a circus. And I just think that that's part of the reason why I don't like Kyrie personally, because of how he deals with certain situations. I said, he has every right to deal with it however he wants to. I just don't think that would be the best way to deal with it for most people. It would be easier if he just handled things differently. But
but again, he's also that person, right? Like who he stands for what he believes in, right? If he feels strongly about his position, he will stand on that position. He will speak on that position. I don't think necessarily this is something he's willing to stand for. I think there's some information that I am not privy to, and I felt it necessary to share on my platform for people who follow me, not for everyone else, right? Like some other people don't want to see that, but what he posted wasn't for those folks. If they happen to then click on his, on that post and watch something they didn't want to watch, they have the right to turn that off. They also have the right to not follow Kyrie. They also have the right not to support Kyrie in his endeavors in anything he do. They also have the right not to buy his jersey, not to buy a game that he is playing in, right? They have those choices. So I don't know what the big deal is, right? Because when you reverse it on the opposite end, the other spectrum, and they're calling people of color names, and I'm saying they, or entertainment business in general, the media turns it all around and starts talking about people of color and their place in history. They don't have the same kind of threat that goes behind it, right? So I think that's the problem. The volume in which this is coming at him is a little bit ridiculous.
I agree. And I think that unfortunately this is really bad timing for Kyrie because this is all coming off of the heels of everything that's going on with Kanye West.
Right.
And
And the
and
losing
yeah, and the losing doesn't
and
help
Steve
either.
Nash, Khan, you know what I mean?
Yeah. And I just wanted to say that Kyrie Irving and Kanye West are not the same person.
True.
That's all I got to say. I don't know.
Right.
Like, you know, they're two very different animals, and I feel like they're being linked together. And they already have associations because of Kanye's media company, his sports stuff that he has going on, in which he's losing a lot of clients. But yeah, I just think the connection is bad. And then also, it doesn't hurt or it doesn't help that Kanye is latching on to this as well. He's in support of Kyrie, but he's also intertwining his name with them on the same type of issue. This is all bad, bro. It's
Right,
all
but
bad.
there's a lot coming back from this too, right? Like, because we think about let's go into recent current events, right? Where we have the African American. There's this weird thing where there's an African Americans are attacking the Jewish population, right? And you usually find it like with teenagers, right? And so they highlight it, and then it becomes a thing, and then now it's attached to this rhetoric that the Jewish community and the Black community don't get along, which could be far from the truth. You get what I'm saying? And that's sort of that divisive nature in which the media tries to place everything.
The
You know what
spin
I'm
and
saying?
the sensationalization of it. Yeah, of
It's
course.
just too much. So, and that's one of the reasons why he's saying what he's saying. You know, he's outwardly saying, I'm not anti-Semitic. I'm not this. I don't believe in that, and I don't believe that. I'm just a human like everyone else. I just happen to be more well-read, right? I happen to be well-read, well-informed, and so I know my history. You can't fault someone for knowing their history, and that's the bottom line. But they're going to try to make him the martyr, right? So,
yeah. Listen, it's like I said, it's a tough time, and it's I just feel like I don't know what the way is because I'm not that person. Like I wouldn't want to be in Kyrie's shoes, but I also don't think I'm the person that could wear those shoes either. He's a special, unique type of person. And when you stand on a certain platform or certain issues, or whatever your beliefs are, you're a special type of person, and you take whatever that comes with because you're that type of guy. But I'm just saying, I think that certain things could be handled better. With all this stuff. Anytime you say some words that could be deemed as hurtful or disrespectful to any population or any entity, you have to understand that there's going to be backlash, right?
100%.
And so you can either say, I don't care about the backlash. So then, we don't have a conversation here. If you don't care, you don't care.
Right.
But if you care, then there's a certain way to go about getting your point across while trying to offend the least amount of people possible. Because you're going to offend somebody. It doesn't matter. People take things the way they take it,
Right.
So that's all I'm thinking. And I apologize, guys. I don't know. I'm gonna drink some water, but all of a sudden, I got all choked up. Oh, man.
But there's also a section of the population that's always going to be against an individual, no matter what. Right? That's just human nature, right? They're gonna ride the wave. They're gonna ride the narrative, and so that is the one thing that people don't, quite understand. When you have a media conglomerate that is controlled by a certain section of people, there isn't much wiggle room there. You know what I mean? There isn't much truth that you can speak to power. You gotta go sort of tread lightly. And so, whatever happens next, I think at this point, the Nets have to figure out whether or not Kyrie's right for that team. You know what I mean? They're in a market that is infused by New York Knicks fans with they don't have enough clout in the city to overcome some of this backlash that comes from the community that's in that area in Brooklyn. You get what I'm saying? And so, with
Yeah,
that
no,
said, they need to make decisions.
I agree. And I've said it before, like, first off, as an NBA franchise that's struggling right now, to be honest, because listen, it is what it is. Outside of this, all this political stuff and the sensitivity of the topics, their basketball brand is hurting because they stink right now. And it's early, so they're not horrible because there's so much time left they could turn the season around. But right now, they stink. And that's all that's the bottom line. First, no matter everything else that's happening, the basketball product is the most important thing for this situation. So that's got to get better.
And that's what should be talked about, right? And that's the
Right, right.
problem. That tends to be the last thing any of these reporters want to talk about.
Yeah, yeah.
Right? So what are we really doing here? Because before it was shut up and dribble. You get what I'm saying? So what are we doing?
And before I read this little breaking news that I guess some of the chat probably already knows, because I think we're all kind of linked into the same type of breaking news platforms. I just want to shout out to I Really Hoop. Thank you for being here. Walter Torres Jr., thank you for tuning in. Ruffin fam, appreciate you. Good to see you. JJ in the building. Kerry Cox is here. Salute. D Grant in the building. East Blue Drew is here. Thank you guys. I mentioned showing earlier. But what I wanted to do is I wanted to bring up Yahul Eluya. Appreciate you. Thank you for being here. Because his point was, even though I think Kyrie is wrong, I stand by him. This world is heading into this cancel culture crap, which is dangerous. And that is what I really agree with, man, because we are so sensitive right now. Yet, in the midst of us being so sensitive to our whole way of living, we are tolerant of the worst possible stuff. Like, this is what's weird about it. You're sensitive to the littlest thing. Everything, comedy, everything is being scrutinized, right? But then the most egregious stuff, the racist comments, the hate speech, all types of things, you're letting go. You're not making rallies about that stuff. You're not creating whole movements about this right now. It's not all over the news. It's the other things, the freedom of speech of just regular things that people used to laugh at, jokes and stuff that people used to tell 20, 30 years ago or 50 years ago in a really sensitive time that were not taken a certain way. They were laughed at and understood the context. Now they're scrutinized. Now they're bad. They're evil. This is a wild time. So I just want to say, I hope that we all understand that no matter what, no matter where we're from, no matter where we were born or where we're at, we're all one people.
And who we are, right?
That's it. That's it. No matter who we are, we're all one people because...
And we're going to make mistakes.
Yeah.
Hopefully some not larger than others, right? Hopefully they're mistakes that can be circumvented, right, by either an apology or accepting you're wrong and moving forward, right? Learning from your mistakes and moving forward and getting better, getting educated. I think Sherwood talks about education, right? So getting better education. And one thing about the world of sports, let's not get it twisted. It's a business, and any business, there's politics involved. So they all go hand in hand. So you can't talk one without the other, or you can't know one without the other.
Agreed. Yeah, it's a tough time. And you know what? As no matter what happens, go from now on, from this day forward, whoever's watching this, however you may feel, we're all human, okay? And we can't lose our human decency for ourselves and for one another. Let's just keep that in mind and keep living our lives and going forward.
Right.
So, with that being said, the breaking news was the Nets have chosen to suspend Kyrie Irving for at least 5 games without pay for failure to disavow anti-Semitism. So, and this is where, like I said, I have an issue with how Kyrie handles things. He chooses to tread his own line because he feels like he has that right. And he does have the right. But the point is, you can make things better and more tolerable for people to kind of deal with and move on. But if you do things in a certain way where you just like, well, listen, I never said this, I'm not saying that, so don't expect this. It's like it keeps the flame brewing. It keeps the pot's boiling. It just continues to boil when you might be able to turn the heat down a little bit. That's
The
all.
problem that is going to happen is that it ain't going to go away.
Right.
We know where the pressure is going to be applied from, and so it ain't going away. 5 games isn't going to cut it. It's the same, and then it comes on the heels of but maybe I would say probably in the summertime where there was a conversation that was sparked by Whoopi Goldberg not really knowing her history, and you know what I mean, not really be well informed either. So those are the type of things that if you aren't well versed in, and you aren't willing to partake in a debate or larger conversation about the history of it all, then why put yourself in that predicament, right? Don't go there.
That's what I say. Why do it? Why do it?
Right.
Yeah, So yeah, that's the situation right now with Kyrie, guys, and unfortunately, it is as always something to distract and take away from the basketball team. And it's the same thing
with Emma Udoka potential hire.
Come on, man. Like, look, my whole thing is, and I'm not saying that people don't deserve second chances, right? Who am I to judge? I don't even know the whole story. This is if it was consensual, whatever he did with the other people, yet it was wrong how he treated his wife. He's not a good dude. But if he didn't break any laws,
if they were broken up or not,
right. We don't know everything.
Right.
But if it was consensual and he didn't do anything to put somebody in an uncomfortable situation, if everybody was a willing party, it may be against the policies of his position in the company.
Concern.
Yeah, but that's it. So listen, I can't. The guy got let go somewhere, and they want to hire him somewhere else. Okay, it is what it is.
Right.
But it's just, why the Nets? Why would now? Granted, he's a really good coach. So if this is your chance to steal a good coach, I guess this is it. But like, why put yourself, everything that you got going on? I thought the Knicks were bad. It's a circus in Brooklyn.
It almost reminds me as a bait and switch, right? Like, okay, we want to bring Emma Udoka. How can we relieve some of the tension? Kyrie, you got something to say? All right, put Kyrie out there in the forefront, mix it up so that there's more distracted media talking about one instance and then not the other. You know what I mean? It's weird. It's weird.
Hey, it's a wild time, man. Shout out
conspiracy
to
theory. I'm a conspiracy theorist right now.
Yeah, there's a lot going on. Shout out to Illmatics. Craig is in the building. Salute. Anthony D, salute. Good to see you, brother. Ashley Inc. What up, Wiz? Good to see you. Repping Old School is here. Dope Soul Sports. What up, Steph? Queen is in the building, folks. Joel C is here. Vaughn Allen in the building. D Moore 914 in the building. Salute. Yeah, guys. So that's what's going on with Brooklyn. And outside of that, like I said, the basketball product is not good. If you want to talk about something that they should be making a bigger deal about, it's actually what the hell they got going on, the roster construction they're doing over there, the pieces. How do you have a guy like Ben Simmons and you don't even know how he fits on the team? Like, how do you use this guy? Why? What are you doing over there? I don't know. Like I said, I thought the Knicks were bad. I still much rather be in the Knicks position. No, I still think I'd rather be in the Knicks position.
Without Knicks right now, too.
I don't know, man.
So early in the season, right? For all this drama.
Don't worry, guys. We're gonna get to the Knicks in a little bit, but I'm not gonna go crazy because I know enough people in the Knicks community are going wild right now already.
Right.
So there'll be plenty to talk about. Plus, I got to save some for Saturday's show.
True. I see you.
And, anyway, so That's what's going on with Brooklyn. Um, and I see there's some people in here that love their Cleveland Cavaliers. Sherwin apparently loves the Toronto Raptors. All of a sudden, okay, Sherwin, I see you. Um, and he was like, what about Toronto? Am I picking Toronto to win the East? No, I am not picking Toronto to win the East. John,
I
are you
think
picking
he
Toronto
is.
to win it?
I think
Oh,
Sherwin is.
well, I think he is.
But
Yeah.
I'm not picking. I'm not picking Toronto to win the East.
Okay. And really, look, this is all early. It's just something to talk about, but something to keep an eye on. I just feel
They're gonna
like
be good though.
yeah, I think they're going to be fine. Like Toronto is a staple in the league. They're always going to be good because they play a certain way. They're just a solid team. But I feel like the early returns have shown me that the Cleveland Cavaliers are going to be a lot better than people think. I feel like Darius Garland, to me, is becoming a superstar because as soon as the guy's out there on the court and healthy, he's putting up big numbers. So I feel like you've got two superstars on the well, you could say you got two stars on the team. Let's not throw the superstar tag out there. But I'm feeling like Darius Garland is trending upwards. And then Donovan Mitchell has already shown this year that he's a money player. Okay. He is a money player. So I think the Cleveland Cavaliers are going to be the surprise team to beat. You're going to have to watch them all year in the East and in the whole NBA. Now, the team to beat to me is Milwaukee because Milwaukee has won 7 in a row. They haven't lost a game yet. And they haven't even played their best basketball in a lot of these games. Some games they were clicking on all cylinders. Other games they didn't look good. Even like, for example, when they played the Knicks, they did not look good in that game at all, but they won it and they won it fairly easy. So I just feel like Milwaukee,
and without Middleton.
Yeah, without Middleton. And when they get Middleton back, watch out.
And they're missing someone else, their shooter. I forget.
Connaughton.
Connaughton. Once they get him back,
and he's a good defender too.
It's a deep team, aggressive too.
Yes, they are. Yes, they are. So I just think that those two teams, the teams that people are going to have to watch out for. Now they are the Milwaukee. It's funny because when you look at Milwaukee, I still feel like they're somewhat young team, but they're not. They're not at all. They're actually an aging team.
They're the team that's primed to win now.
Yes, they are.
Right, with the mix of age that they have, and then some of these young, they have players that are no longer young. They're in their prime. So they're ready to win now.
They definitely are ready to win now, and with good reason because I mean, the team has just been built a certain way, and having somebody like hold on, sorry, I'm just trying to blow this up a little bit. Move that over. Let's get this back up here. Yep. Having Giannis on that team is just, I mean, the dude is just a monster, bro. And he just makes everybody else better. It's like it's nothing. There's not many teams that can say they have that guy. Like even with Phoenix and Devin Booker, who is another team that people need to really watch out for in the West because they're going to have one of the best records in the league once again. They'll be there in the end. Right. But if you take Devin Booker, you can take Devin Booker out the game, is what I'm saying. And, you can make it so that him not being effective, he won't be able to do something that still impacts the rest of the group so that they still collectively are doing something out there. Whereas Giannis, he might have a bad shooting night. You might try to, push him away from certain things, but he does so much on the court that he still makes the rest of the team better. And that's a tough stop. That's a tough stop. So, yeah. So I'm really looking at Milwaukee as the early favorites, for this NBA championship. And it's very early. I know there's a lot of time left.
Also barring injuries, right? Like
obviously
can happen. And when on the injury front, anything can happen, could take a team completely out of it. But as of right now, if they start to get healthy, I can see that.
Yeah. And like I said, Toronto looks good. Atlanta's still iffy, but they're not. They got some things that I think I like over there, so you got to respect it. But the other thing that I want to say to a lot of people is, if you look at these records, I mean, the Bulls are 5-4, Philadelphia's 4-5, Miami's 4-5. Hold on, let's see here. Brooklyn's 2-6. I'm saving them. Orlando's 1-7. And let me see. Is there anybody else? No, I think that's it. Oh well, Charlotte. Charlotte's not even healthy. They're 3-5, right? 30 games from now, this record, these standings are going to look totally different.
Right.
Things are going to level out, and some of these teams that look like they're struggling right now will not be struggling, and they will have rebounded, going back to the way we're used to them playing basketball. 100%. So that's what I'm saying. Like, even Orlando's 1-7 because they're a very young team. They've got talent over there. They just don't know how to play together yet. They all have to gel and understand what, how the game is played in the NBA now, because there's some young players over there. And it's going to take them a little time. But like a lot of these other teams, the Miamis, the Bulls, the Bulls they're going to have a great record towards the end of the season. It's going to be back to where they are as long as they're healthy. It's just these guys are too good. So, I wouldn't get too crazy with all this. That's why I'm not focusing on any of the teams really outside of Cleveland and Milwaukee. And if you want to throw Toronto in there, that's fine, Sherwin. But yeah, because these teams are legitimate. They'll be there in the end.
Yeah, I mean, I would before Toronto, I would throw in, Boston.
Oh yeah, and Boston's another one.
Boston's another one.
Yeah, they're 4-3, and I'm not even. And forget it. Boston's going to be there in the end.
Yeah.
Yeah. So it's interesting. And let me just do a quick little pan down, guys, and see what's going on in the West. As we said, look, Phoenix. Phoenix is just going to be one of them teams that has one of the best records in the league every single year. I would expect Memphis to be right there as they are. Utah is what is going on in Utah.
Surprise.
I know. I know Danny Ainge cannot be happy about this.
Clarkson, the way Clarkson is playing, Marketing is playing, the way Colin Sexton, listen. They're good enough to win games. Like the team that coach is putting out, they're day in and day out are good enough to win games in the NBA, and they're proving it so far early in the season. Not to say that they will hold up true to this form throughout an entire season, but as of right now, they're looking good. They're not looking too bad.
Mm-hmm. Oh, and repping old school. Yes, I'm sorry. I did. I've mentioned Boston now, as you can see, but if you want to take this a little deeper and see why I'm not saying that I expect Boston to be an odds-on favorite to win the championship, honestly, I think at some point throughout the season, Boston is going to realize that they miss Udoka. I think it's going to rear its head, and that's just one of them things. You'll see at some point. You're going to be like, damn, there's something not right about Boston. I just can't put my finger. Oh, you know what it is.
Right, right.
So yeah, we'll see what happens with that. But yeah, I think that to me is interesting. Like, let me just drop this down. Sorry, guys. Bada bing, bada boom. And blow that up for you guys to see real quick. This is where we're at, and if you guys want to take a look at this real quick, this was what the East is looking like at the top. There you go. As you can see, Milwaukee is now. I'm wondering, dude. Orlando better not be on some fake tank thing, man. They, I don't know. Orlando and Detroit, like I feel like these teams are a little better than this, but who knows, man? I don't know. A little iffy. You think there might be some conspiracy afoot here, John?
I don't know. I mean, I just think that they're when they play other teams just have a little bit more veteran presence. And
Hmm.
most of these teams that are in the NBA, especially on the East, have stacked up a little better this year. So they
Hmm.
have a nice group of players that have already played 1 or 2 more years than, let's say, Detroit with their two young budding stars, right? I think that's really what it comes down to, at least for right
Yeah.
now.
Yeah.
Talent may overcome that, you never know. But I'll tell you, and I'm going to say this now, and I know we're going to talk about it later. If we were 20 games in, right, at this moment in time, and the Knicks were playing the way we have seen them play this last 3 games, I will expect us to be tanking because it don't make no sense not to if we're going to be playing the basketball like we are right now.
I agree with that. I agree with that 100%. The Knicks either go in and they do something, or you throw in the towel. However you want to do it. All
Facts.
right, throw the towel. I want to see Jericho Sims running the point, just because I heard he got handled. I'm not saying no other reason. What? Anyway, yeah, crazy stuff, man. We'll see. Oh man, I'm not looking forward to talking Knicks. Anyway, it's so yeah, guys, as you can see in the Western Conference, Phoenix is 6-1, Portland's 5-2, Utah 6-3. Danny Ainge can't be happy, or can he? Or is this a part of the plan? All of a sudden, one day we're going to notice that Markkanen's minutes are a little different, or we're playing Markkanen with a different unit or something. I don't know. Danny's going to have to figure it out over there because it's not looking good right now. And then you got Memphis. San Antonio is interesting because San Antonio, they're still, I don't know, man. I don't know what to quite make of that team.
I think
I don't
that's
know
going
if,
to even out. I think that'll
yeah, I think
even
so
out.
too. I don't
I
know
think
if
it's
they,
early.
yeah.
It's way too early to project folks, like locked in. And the same goes for our Knicks, right? I think it's still too early to make a full on judgment call.
Hmm.
Um, but like San Antonio, they may or may not be in that play-in spot, depending on other teams and how strong these other teams that are right now below them can get. Because you can expect the Clippers to go on a run. The Warriors, you already know they're going to go on a run. Um, and then there's teams like LA that you don't know exactly what you're going to get from them night in and night out. So
Yeah,
I
yeah.
can see that all sort of panning out a little differently. I think San Antonio may be around, you know, 9. They'll be hovering around 9, 10 spots all year.
Yeah, I feel like they're gonna be right there. And we'll see what happens with them. Because they're interesting team because they got some good talent, but they might just still be a little young. And the style of play is like it's a little different too than what you're used to seeing with a San Antonio team, I feel. Um, and then with a lot of these 4-3 teams, this is just early basketball time. Like the Clippers 4-4, dealing with injury bug once again with Kawhi. Oh man, just doesn't stop.
Might be damaged
Um,
goods, man. He may have had his final best years.
and not just Kawhi, also with John Wall. Hey, hey,
But that's risk reward, right? They took
yeah.
a risk. They're hoping for a reward. We'll see. We'll
Hmm.
see what happens if they get to a playoff run. Can all three be healthy come playoff time? That's really what they got to get to.
Right.
So if you have to save them during the regular season, you do that. You get them enough playing time together to figure each other out, so they can gel and be a one unit team come playoff time.
I think that's what they're definitely doing because they definitely got Kawhi on this crazy
Mhm.
basketball restriction. So that's what they're dealing with. Minnesota 4-4. I mean, this is just early season stuff. They'll get their stuff. They'll get in stride. Dallas is 4-3. They'll definitely get in stride. Oklahoma City is a little surprising. That's good for them early. I kind of feel like they're going to level off and drop down.
Right.
New Orleans looks pretty good. Early returns. And I think it's it's bad that they that Brandon Ingram's been hurt, but it's good in a way because it allows guys like Zion to kind of work on their game and get into a certain role. And when Brandon comes back, they'll be all the better. And then Denver is another team. They're 4-3, but you can kind of see they're still trying to figure it out. Like, people are starting to get trying to get comfortable. Jokic is not showing us his all-star MVP form yet. I feel like he's just trying to play a certain way so that other guys can kind of get involved, like Jamal Murray can get in the game and stuff like that.
Those guys to be back to prime shape.
Right.
He can't cover that same load for another season. He took a lot on his shoulders last year.
It's true. And the other thing is, at least early on, you don't want to, because if you're doing all that, because you know how much he does with the assists, the rebounds, the scoring, if he's doing all that, then these guys aren't being as big of a factor. Like the ball being in his hands a lot when it should be in Jamal Murray's, when Michael Porter's should have the ball in his hands at certain points. It's got to be able to be spread around at least early so these guys can get comfortable. So, yeah, it's interesting. The early season is very interesting, and the Lakers look horrible. Oh, man.
Well, listen, that move for Westbrook coming off the bench may be a good look. I mean, as much as I don't want to say this, when you think of the ESPN analysts that have talked about his role on the Lakers, I think the majority of them have all felt like if Russell Westbrook took a back seat to LeBron and KD and AD and not play with them starter minutes, or he could play starter minutes but not be the starter for that team, coming off the bench as a sixth man, that they would be in a better place than they are right now had they started the season out like that. So I'm gonna give credit where credit's due. Most of those guys have talked about that from ESPN. And it looks that way. It looks like that should be his role here with the Lakers. So I guess time will tell if this is, if this mix and the way they put those players out there is, going to be successful, in today's NBA and the way it's being played now. You need shooters around you, especially with guys like LeBron and AD.
Yeah. So I mean, yeah, they look very very bad out there with the overall talent that they have acquired. Now, granted, they did have some heroics the other day, and they won the game behind what is his name? I already forgot it, and I was just thinking about it too. Let's see, what is his name?
You're talking about
Matt Ryan.
Matt Ryan.
Yeah, who hit the game-tying three to send them to overtime, where they wound up winning. I believe they won by 3 points in the overtime, 120 to 117. I think it was something like that. But it was a good victory for them, and it was a nice moment for Matt Ryan. But that's one of the situations. Like, you'll take it if you can get it.
Yeah.
So,
and again, winning cures everything. If you could find a way to win in the NBA, everything else sort of goes out the window. The rhetoric stops. The conversations about Westbrook is done and shot. It all goes away because now the ball is in his hands, predominantly in his hands with the second unit. He could just play. He can go and play his game, and if that second unit is filled with shooters, he's going to be in the best position to win. That's really just what it's going to all come down to.
It's true.
And when it will cure everything.
Agreed. Shout out to the chat once again. Thank you guys for being here. Joel C is in the building. Deron Wayne is here. Jean Sherrill is here. Wonder Woman is in the building. Good to see you, Wonder Woman.
Salute.
Always a pleasure. Hopefully you brought your lasso with you, the lasso of truth, because we're about to talk about these Knicks, and there's going to be some truth. So you don't need to lasso me. I'm about to give it to you the way it needs to come out.
I hear that.
E. Gibson is in the building. Salute to you. Craig McDonald is in the building. Salute. Let me just see. Anybody else? Keith Turner. I think I said it already. Kerry Cox in the building. Salute, salute.
These were the
Keyshawn's in the building. Hey, what's going on, D? Appreciate you.
Yeah. Angel Torres. Salute.
Akuma is in the building. Salute.
Salute.
And D Grant. For whatever reason, every time I see D Grant in the chat, how I would think it is, right?
Yeah. I sometimes think about family.
I know, right? Yeah, it's crazy. Salute to you guys. Thank y'all for being here. Appreciate you.
Salute.
And great show by you today, D. I was watching like 2 hours of it, and you were getting me through. I was doing a lot of data entry, and just having something to listen to was helpful. Thank you, brother.
Yeah, that's a fact.
So shout out to D's World of Hoops. Check them out if you haven't already. Like, comment, and subscribe and show your love, man. Yeah. Great analysis over there.
We got Eddie F in the building. Appreciate you.
Yeah, thank you. I'm good now. I'm good. I mean, I still got I'm a little nasally here and there, but that's only because I've been out in the streets now and I'm drinking cold stuff, which I wasn't.
You ain't the only one. I be like, just that change of weather got us all messed up,
It's crazy. Dude, it's going to be 70 the next 3 days in New York. I mean, what is going on?
I'm not mad at it. You already
I mean, but it's crazy. We're in November.
Whatever. This is my birthday week.
Yeah, let's go.
So, listen, I'm gonna take it in, man. Springtime in November. I love it.
Yeah, maybe you brought the nice weather, bro.
I hope so.
Adele Chapman is in the building. And last but not least, if there's anybody out there that we missed, sorry, apologize, but it's not for lack of trying. Also, shout out to Geraldine McIver, the first lady of Still Knicks fans, and MBK. Appreciate you, Geraldine.
Appreciate you. And shout outs to JJ, man. Yeah, D is killing it. Let's get him to 500 subs.
Definitely. Yeah, he's right there. I think he's like maybe 504 away. He's so close.
So what's up?
Yeah, man. Go subscribe to D's World of Hoops, man. Let's get that 500 number, man. Let's get that 500 number. Come on, guys.
Get him to 500, then we push 4,000.
There you go. Yeah, man. So, all right, guys. Okay, let's do this real quick. Let's take a quick look at our rookies around the league and see how they're doing, and then we'll get into the Knicks because the Knicks is gonna kind of probably finish the show off.
End the show.
Yeah, it's gonna end the show definitely.
And we're gonna end it with good riddance.
Yeah, man. I'm like, these Knicks, man. What's going on, bro? Okay, so let's get this up here. There we go. And boom, and boom. That should be good enough. So, yeah, guys, the interesting thing, man, is like some of these young rookie players are playing really well. And it's really good to see. I think it's something that I wasn't expecting. And, I've mentioned it a lot already. For example, one of them that I think is surprising to me is Paolo Banchero. Yeah, I think he has been fantastic.
Appreciate the love and birthday wishes, everyone. Gene, I'm with you, man. You and me share a birthday, November 5th. Down with that. Appreciate that.
Nice, man. All right, guys, I'm gonna blow it up for a little bit, and then I'll bring it back to this 2-screen window. But because I'm sorry, it's really small. Don't worry, we're gonna do better next time and get it a little bit better formatted. But for right now, as you guys can see, the current 2022 NBA rookie stat leaders, scoring average. You can see Paolo Banchero leads the rookies with 21.8. Right. Ben Mathurin, as my guy Prophet likes to say, do the math.
Right.
20.4 points per game. And then we've got Keegan Murray right there with 15.7 points per game. Jaden Ivey at 14.6. Right. And then Jabari Smith from Houston with 10.8. And then unfortunately that number is starting to drop down because Jabari's been having some tough games as of late. But that's NBA growing pains, and this is like the second week of basketball. It's like, excuse me, not enough basketball has been played yet. These guys still got to get very comfortable. Okay, so there's going to be plenty of time for them to get it together. But early returns look pretty good for Paolo and Mathurin.
Benedict Mathurin has shown up, man, and he's getting prime minutes on the court, like legit minutes on the court, ending games also. So
I'm kind of surprised. I didn't think that Indiana was going to be using him like that so quickly.
I am extremely surprised by that. Yeah, I'm with you there.
And then on the rebounding end, Banchero leading the rookies in rebounds, 7.6. Duren, to me, is kind of surprising. Duren's a very good rebounder. And at being he's just coming.
So young.
Yeah. I'm actually kind of surprised. Smith, once again, 6.1. That looks good. Tyrese, about like 5 rebounds per. Walker Kessler's been a nice surprise for Utah, 4.3. And then Mathurin, Ivy, little Jake LaRavia in there. Right. And then Murray and Sokan, or Soshan, how are you going to say it?
Sokan.
Interesting. And then the assist. Now, this is where this number
surprising to see Banchero, but it's a little.
Once again, though, Banchero leading all the rookies in another category.
Right.
I'm not saying who. But I'm not saying who looks like they're trying to get that rookie of the year. But if I had a pick, I think I know who it is.
Right. He's trying to make sure he's stat stuffing everything. Right.
Right. That looks good. Nembhard, I think Nembhard is going to really jump up before the season's up. He might get around 4 or 5 because this guy can pass the ball. He's got great court vision. Ivy, I think Ivy's going to be right where he is. Maybe he can jump up to 4, but it's just the difference between Ivy and Nembhard is a point guard. Like he's got it. Right. Just has to get that time and get comfortable. But it's tough when you're behind Tyrese Halliburton. Guys, I'm nasal. I'm sorry.
and the more you speak without taking a breath, it just gets worse, right?
It's the worst, bro. I'm like, come on.
hey, real quick, let's. I want you to, if you can you highlight Keith Turner's last? Not his most recent. He starts with RJ being here 4 years. Can you highlight that?
Yeah, definitely.
That's crazy to me.
Yeah. All right, guys. So this is pretty much it. Get one more quick look at it for those who haven't seen it. This is the scoring average leaders, the rebounds per game, and the assists per game of our rookies. Just a little quick snapshot of the top guys in the league. Obviously, there's more rookies than this, but we don't need to see the numbers that go below this, I don't think, at least at this moment. All right. So let's get back to the comments. And you said
a regular.
There we go.
There we go. There you go.
So Keith Turner, shout out to you. RJ's been here 4 years, and Mathurin coming onto the league, a better player than him. It's really sad. Hey, man.
That's a segue to talk about our New York Knicks.
Yeah, here we go.
Here
we go. Yeah, sorry, guys. Shout out to Mick Investment. Appreciate you. Jack City in the building. Thank you guys for tuning in. I was disgusted yesterday. I'm not going to lie to you. As soon as they lost that 27-point lead, John, I said, oh, no, don't tell me we're doing it again. Don't tell me this team that is better talent-wise and especially offensively, even if we're not good shooters, these guys can score the basketball. You're going to tell me we're going to blow a 27-point lead? And not only did they blow a 27-point lead, I forgot exactly what the number is. D had it on his show earlier, but it was something like Atlanta outscored the Knicks after they blew the 27-point lead, 70 to like 30-something. I mean, that's just crazy. They made up a 27-point deficit and then tacked on another 40 throughout the game. Like
in 9 minutes, 8 or 9 minutes. in 8 or 9 minutes, bro.
Now, I'm not saying they
To
won
end
by
the
40.
half. To end the half. Now you come out of third quarter and throw up a stinker. That's crazy to me. So let's go back to you saying this team is better and better offensively. Because now, if this is true, a true testament of how they're going to be playing, then I'll challenge you and say I don't think so. Because there's nothing that proves me that the shots that Jalen took, the shots that Randall took, the shots that RJ took were high efficient shots using high IQ. You can't tell me that it was the case, right?
I can't do
It's
that. I can't
backwards,
do that.
bro. It was
I can't.
backwards.
What this is what I will say. David G, what's good? Salute to you. He said we are not better. This is why I say what I say. Because this for the most part is the same team from last year, right?
Mm-hmm.
However, you added Jalen Brunson and you added iHeart, and you were trying to give some of these young guys expanded roles.
Yeah.
Even though, I mean, we can't really say that's happened because the only person who's actually got a chance to play is Cam, right? And I'm not saying he's got a bunch of minutes.
No, that's not true. IQ.
No,
and Toppin.
No. This is where I push back. If you look at Toppin's
not getting minutes.
Look at his minutes. Let's take a look at that, shall we?
Defensively, is he a liability?
I can't tell you that because
come on, bro.
I don't know, bro. Because you know what?
His closeouts are super weak. Are you kidding me?
He does do the flyby, but doesn't quickly do the flyby too. Like all these guys are doing the flyby.
It's too much.
Well, this is where I go. This is my point to the Knicks being a better offensive team, but they're so bad defensively. They're worse defensively than they were last year. And it's not Jalen Brunson's fault, guys. We know he's not a great defender. No, this team is playing poor defense. Even the guys who played better defense last year are playing horrible defense. Right. You got a lot of people looking at Emmanuel quickly like he's a terrible defender. He's not a terrible defender. Now,
he actually gives you a little bit more, though. Right?
Yeah, but his defense hasn't looked good this year. But he's not this bad. Something is wrong with this team. I don't know if it's Tibbs. If Tibbs is well, we already know how there's issues with Tibbs, but I don't know. I'm just talking about his coaching on the defensive side. Is he doing something different with them, or is he not doing something? Because their focus and the way they're playing defense is atrocious. They're getting killed from all angles, especially the outside on the perimeter. This is not Knick basketball. This is not what I'm used to. I mean, I don't know what I'm watching out there.
Right.
So that's why I say they can be better offensively, but still be worse as a team because they're playing poor defense.
But like they're not even showing it offensively either.
Well,
like outside of the 3 game, you give them credit for the 3-game swing, right? The first 3 games of the season, they came out, they shared the ball, they did well. Not everybody shot the ball well. Obviously, RJ still not shooting the ball well, right? But everyone else was getting into their bag and getting theirs off, right? In a team orchestrated offense.
Right.
These last 3 games have been the complete opposite. And this is the time when you need your leaders to step up. Jalen Brunson, a la Jalen Brunson, you need to step up and become that leader of that locker room and that team because you need to dictate where the ball goes. You need to dictate the tempo of the game. You can't just allow for your team to go on spurts like this without scoring the basket. And that doesn't mean that you take it upon yourself to go out and try to make a basket. It means you have to get other players involved in different ways. And he knows that. But he has to own that. You get what I'm saying? He has to own that.
Yeah.
And if you don't own it, then you're not going to succeed in New York. I'm sorry to say. If you don't own that and you don't own it now, it's going to get tougher and tougher because when you allow your locker room and those players to dictate that for a team, then you don't got control of that team.
I mean, you're not lying, bro. You're not
We
lying. This
don't.
is very true. I agree with you. My whole thing is, all I'm saying is, if you look at how they, how the game stacked up, right? How everything transpired. The Knicks scored 10 points in the third quarter. Once again, we're back to the horrible third quarters again. There's 2 games already this
Right.
season that have been horrible in the third quarter, right? So they scored 10 points in the third quarter, yet they finished with 99. That's why I'm saying offensively, to me, they're better because they had a horrible third quarter. In the fourth quarter, they had 24 points, which is a decent number for a lot of teams in a quarter, but that's not anything great. But in the
But
first quarter, they scored 32. In the second quarter, they scored 33.
but
Like,
that's not a true reflection, Ron, because Atlanta wasn't they couldn't stop Atlanta. So it
no, I
didn't
know,
really
but
matter how many times
yeah,
they scored. They weren't doing
I
it on the
know.
defensive
But
side.
offensively, the Knicks are scoring what I don't know what's their average right now.
Like 105, right?
Where's the team
Is it
stats when you
it's
need
probably
them?
like 105, somewhere around there.
Team statistics. There we go. But I need the team. Okay, there we go. Offensive leaders, complete leaders. Where are they at? The Knicks are averaging 115 points per game.
15, okay.
That's a good offensive team. Now, hold on. That doesn't mean that they're a good team. They're good offensively. They're horrible defensively. It's
I can't
really bad.
I can't say a team is good offensively when they're terrible from they don't have good shooting percentages. Like from the 3-point line, we're atrocious. What's the 3-point line where they shoot
Uh,
the majority of their shots?
well,
What's the percentage there?
okay, they're at 32.9%.
Is that average?
It's
Is that league
well, no,
average?
it's no, league average is around 35.
And they're 32. I think what keeps us in games is the rebounding. I don't know.
Well, and it's the other thing. Remember, we even though we're atrocious in a way shooting from the 3-point line, we are that much stronger in the paint area because we're committing to that. And that's why the Knicks are, like I said, they're scoring and they're a little bit more efficient as a team than you might think. Because do you know what their field goal percentage is as a team? It's 46%. That's not bad. It's not bad.
But that's mostly Mitchell Robinson
It's
and
Jalen
Randall with
Brunson and Jalen,
putbacks.
and well, no, but Jalen Brunson too. Although the past 2 games or so,
It's really the
it's been kind of
rebounding that
crazy.
got them up there, right? Because their rebound offensive rebounds are higher than they used to be because Randall and Mitchell Robinson and Ihart have done their part.
I'll tell you something right now, which is really interesting that you say that. Right now the Knicks are second in the NBA in rebounding.
Yeah, that's what it really comes down to. That's why we look better offensively. If it wasn't for that, I don't even think we'll be there. I really don't. Because you don't see it. And I'm not a stats guy. I'm looking specifically watching the game, right? I'm watching the game. I'm seeing what's happening in the game. And I'm like, this ain't it. This ain't it. Especially the last 3 games. It's like if had they lost the way they lost against Milwaukee and against Memphis, I'm okay with that because you're just matching up against a better team. Atlanta wasn't that much better though, just because of what you've seen in the second quarter, right?
Mm.
If you could go up 27 points, they're not that much better than you are. But they wanted it more. You know what I mean?
Mm-hmm.
They were willing to apply the pressure defensively, and we, for whatever reason, fell to that. All they did was go zone, and that's a problem because Tibbs, bro, it's gonna be an issue. 20 games in, and we ain't got a record where we need to be at. Listen, he might be gone. He might be gone along with a bunch of others, man.
That is something I think we both agree on. I don't know if I want to say that Tibbs has lost the team yet, but I will say that I thought that if the Knicks got off to a bad start,
Right.
that Tibbs would be on the block. But I didn't think too much of it. I just think that it would be a moment where he's going to have to weather the storm, and the Knicks going to have to fight for him and get back to playing good basketball. My problem, which makes me feel a little differently about this, is that they're struggling on the defensive side. His bread and butter. To me, that's bad. That's not good.
Yeah. No, I have to agree with you there, for sure.
Yeah. So I don't know, man. I don't know, guys. Like the Knicks, a lot of weird stuff happened in that game, and a lot of weird stuff has been happening, and all of this stuff is happening. We're struggling in defense, and I get it. You can't play 15 guys, but guess what? When your team is not stopping anybody, and you got a good defensive point guard on the bench, in Deuce, and then you've got another guy who can help give you a big body and might be able to affect people's shots. And the rebounding, we're already doing a good job at rebounding, so that don't matter much. But Jericho might be able to go out there and give people a different look. You got to try different things. Does it hurt to say, you know what? We're not playing well. iHeart, have a seat for a little bit. Mitch, hold on for a little. Even though Mitch was playing good and iHeart was playing good yesterday, relax, guys. We need something, a little bit different energy out here. Something's got to change, because I tell you, once again, guys don't look comfortable in this new system that they're trying to. And I wonder if this is why it goes back to personnel. Sometimes you just don't got the right guys for your team. Maybe Julius Randle, even though he looks like he is pushing the ball and trying to be effective, maybe he's better when you slow it down and get in his ISO lanes. Maybe Quickly is better when he gets to dribble and slow things down. I don't know. Something's not right about what the Knicks are trying to do right now, and they better figure it out, or people are going to lose their jobs and guys are going to get shipped up out of here.
For me, it always. I mean, and again, we're watching it. We're not in the game, so it always seems easier to speak about something because you're watching it. You're not in the game yourself playing it, so it may feel a little different when you're in the game. But for the life of me, I don't understand why is it the one-on-one offense all the time? Why is it me taking my guy off the dribble all the time? Like, that shouldn't be the set play. Like, it's weird to me. Jalen Brunson comes down. He doesn't even pass the ball once and is looking for a shot. Quickly, coming on the block, coming down, crosses the half-court line, looking for a pick and roll. The pick and roll is there for a reason. You use it to your advantage. He doesn't do that. He pulls it back, tries a jump shot. It's like, what? It drives me insane.
It's crazy.
It drives me insane. Even with RJ, same thing. Pick and roll action. You don't even look to try to pass the rock. Instead, you try to force up a shot and then last minute try to change it into a pass. It's not going to work. It's just decision making, bro. It's not. It's out of this world, man. That was crazy.
Man, if you remember, shout out to Pat Jiggy. I see you. Appreciate you for being here. Maybe this is your first time, but if it is, thank you. And appreciate you for supporting the show. David's in the building as well. Thank you for being here. Let me put this up, because this is a telltale sign of something that's not good. E. Gibson said, and I heard this earlier today as well. E. Gibson said the Hawks were in the last game of a 5-game stretch and had more energy than us. That is bad.
How is that possible? It's just effort at that point.
You're starting to see 3 games ago, I started to see old Julius start to come back, right? I started to see, and this was a game we won against Charlotte. I saw him chirping a little bit with the refs. I was like, okay, I'm watching it because it's starting to develop again. Then in the game against Cleveland, where we lost, he started to chirp against the refs once again. And I was like, okay, I just hope he kind of controls it. And then I started to worry, because after the game, when people were getting into their spots, about to do the little interviews, Donovan Mitchell was going around hugging people, saying, what's up? He went up to Julius, and Julius kind of was slapping his hand away because he didn't know what was going on. He wasn't paying attention. He didn't even know that was Donovan, because he was in the middle of a conversation with the ref after the game. He's getting back to the old Julius stuff that we didn't like to see last year. That's one. Last night, his effort outside of that first quarter, he came out looking really good. After that first quarter, he started to get, and maybe because he burned himself out. I don't know, because he started to take the plays off and get lackadaisical again on defense, starting to do the Matador stuff that we don't like to see.
Right.
Another problem with this team. And I'm not going to blame Jalen Brunson. Jalen Brunson, once again, guys, if you guys feel anything about Jalen Brunson, understand that he is exactly who he is. What you see every night is Jalen Brunson. He's not changing. Some nights he may have his shot going. Some nights the shot may not be going, but he's a very efficient player, so it's going more often than not. The way he plays every night. He's not the issue. The rest of the team that's been here, that is supposed to be playing a certain type of basketball, the other guys that also got $100 million contracts, those are the issues. RJ Barrett is not playing good basketball. He might be playing the worst basketball of his career right now. And that's saying something. Yeah. That's saying something, because last year, that start he had was horrible as well. But right. It's his, like you said, the IQ, the thought process. He's making bad plays.
Horrific.
He's not, like these are not
he's
good.
Almost playing like he's a rookie, which doesn't
and he's
make any sense.
This is his fourth year.
Right.
You can't do this type of stuff.
He's making rookie mistakes. He's, it's like making bad judgment on or bad reads to the game. He's thinking there's a lane there when there isn't. He's thinking there's a pass there when there isn't. Like he's taking poor executed shots, not in rhythm. He doesn't have his feet under him when he's shooting the jump shot. It's like, these are like fundamentally the only thing he got going for him this season right now, as we speak today, is that he stays aggressive and he's hitting his free throws.
Like, I don't know. Would I prefer him to miss his free throws and be better at everything else?
Yes.
Was there a trade-off?
I don't know. How
listen, let me hit my free throws. I'll work everything else out eventually. I don't know what's going on.
Crazy, man. It's
nuts. Yeah, it's horrible, bro. And we're gonna wrap up soon, guys, because we've been going for a little bit. But I just, there's a lot. We could talk about the Knicks forever, and I guess I'm gonna be talking a lot on Saturday.
Right.
They got a lot to work through. They got a lot to figure out. I think at some point, though, the Knicks got to get it right. And if Thibodeau is not the guy to help this team get to another level, not necessarily what the next level is, we don't even know what it is, but if he's not the guy to get this team to another level, and then he's going back to his old rotation habits, he's not playing guys, and then he's bringing guys in at weird times, this game was out of whack. The game was over. You bring in Quentin Grimes with like 4 minutes left. What are you doing?
It looks like he was just trying to get him some run.
I get it, but it's like almost, first off, how much run are you going to get him in that time in the game when the game is over? In garbage time, the ball moves around a certain way. At least you get him in the flow of the game earlier. Like it's like what he did when he used to, throw a rookie out there with 15 seconds left.
He would do that with McBride.
With McBride, and exactly. Like I don't like to see that type of style that he does. I think he needs to really think about how he's doing things a little better before he does really lose the team, because they've had enough. At some point, every coach can lose a locker room.
Oh yeah, and you definitely want to be able to play. And this is the thing, man. He needs to make a conscious effort to bring in Grimes into play without IQ on the floor, because that gives you your best defensive second team, right? Lengthwise. I'm not talking about effort wise, lengthwise, because if the effort's there by a Cam and an Obi and Grimes, he's going to bring the effort. You have now the length to contend with other athletic teams.
Mm-hmm.
Rose is a true point guard. He's not a two. He's a legit point guard. He doesn't play as effective as he does when he has the ball in his hands. When he's playing as a two guard, that's not his forte. He doesn't feel comfortable within a system when the ball is not in his hands, dictating the action.
Mm-hmm.
Quickly, on the other hand, is a better two guard at this point in his career. They almost like they're force-feeding Quick to be the point guard. And you're noticing he's shooting less. He's doing a lot more on the defensive side, which makes him a good rebounder. And I get that and I dig that. But while you have Rose on this team, you go with your best option. I don't mind bringing Quick in for quick spurts. Hit him with 5 minutes here, 8 minutes here, just because you need a scoring punch, right? Use Quick effectively to do that. Bringing him in, have him shoot the ball, run around screens, get open shots, do things like that. But the way they're trying to like manipulate it for him to be a point guard, I think that's the wrong idea.
Yeah, no, I agree, guys. And listen, we're about to get out of here. I just wanted to highlight this one comment before we go, and make sure you guys tune into Dope Soul Sports Talk with Queen Steph. She's going to be going on in a little bit, so definitely go check out and support MBK fam. Sherwin, I can agree with you here, Sherwin. And this points to something that was said earlier last year. It's actually was said 2 years ago by certain people. Not everybody agreed with it. Sherwin said, Ron and John, do you guys ever watch Denver offense? The Knicks run the same offense. Nikola Jokic and Randall are in the same role. Jokic is a better passer, shooter, and passer have better shooters. What? Shooter. Okay. Jokic is a better passer and better shooter. And he has better passers and shooters around him. And the offense just looks that much better. I agree with you. I understand. And this is the reason why I'm bringing it up. If you guys remember, there was a certain point where certain people were clamoring for the Knicks to trade Julius Randle for somebody that people were like, why trade him for this person when their games are so similar? They were trying to get Julius Randle to go to Indiana for Sabonis.
Right.
And everybody was like, oh, well, Julius is a better rebounder and he's a more physical and blah, blah, blah. And he eats Sabonis up when they play each other. Not every time. They have some wars. But the point is, Sabonis is a better team player and he's a better passer. Like the ball moves when he's out there and he helps facilitate. And he's not one of those people that's always worrying about his numbers. He gets his numbers because he's just a good player. Like, that is why I was always like, if they did it, I wouldn't be mad because I thought Sabonis just gave the team a better chance to win basketball games. He's not, you could say he's not a great defender, and people were giving Julius a better nod. But you know what?
And he's on the. He plays predominantly center, so he's on the undersized center,
right,
to some degree.
Right, but you could use him at the 4, depending on what your dynamic is. And to me, his liability on defense isn't as big of a liability anymore because Julius hasn't stepped up and shown that he's that much better defensively than him. So really, it's a wash. So just something to think about. And another thing that was said, and I don't know if you noticed this. Shout out to Marvin. Perspective from the other side. Appreciate you, Marvin. Quality Jump is in the building. C. Cartagena is here. Thank you, guys.
Salute, everyone. Salute.
Last thing before we get out of here, because someone said it, and I think the narrative is starting to move around. People are noticing how it looks at the end of games. Do you feel like RJ's padding his offensive stats at the end of games?
Of course. That's the only reason why he's ending games with 20 points. And Tibbs is helping him do that. Because he wants the conversation to end the conversation by saying, it wasn't falling for him today. But I like that he stays aggressive, and he finished the game with 20 points. And not too many players do that. Like, we see through that. Knicks fans are gonna see through that. Like, we're not. That's almost like that's the disrespectful part of it all, right? Because you're like, see exactly where you're coming with that, and now you're gonna disrespect our understanding of the game. By just sitting there saying those things blatantly, you're gonna just lose the Knicks fandom. And I was a strong proponent of having Tibbs on. Now I'm just like, you know what? It's getting out of control because now you're not really holding your team accountable and your players accountable for the way that they play. Because the reality is that if I'm a coach on that squad and you're just chucking up shots and you're not playing within the system, you're not playing good team ball, and you're not building on the chemistry, you're going to sit on the pine with the rest of them. And I'm going to give a shot to Cam, and I'm going to give a shot to Grimes. And I'm going to give a shot to IQ to start over you. I'm not just going to sit back and just because you make 100,000, we paid you that I'm going to force feed you to continue the madness. Like, I'm not going to force feed you onto the starting unit. Yep. You ain't playing starter quality minutes. Crazy.
Facts. Salute once again to the chat. I see you. Appreciate you, Lawrence Tears, Uncle Freezy in the building. Salute my brother. Good to see you. He said, "Not me, John. I'm chucking."
Right? You get what I'm saying? I'm right there with you, Uncle Freeze. If I'm on the court like that and I'm looking at RJ, guess what? RJ, next time down the court, you better grab that rebound because I ain't giving you the rock. Facts. I'm getting mine.
Shout out to R. Taylor in the building as well. Good to see you, R. Taylor. I know he has a lot to say about this stuff. He be writing paragraphs. I know he's already going in the comments. I know it's coming.
Yeah.
But guys, look, we got a lot of issues, man. I'm gonna talk about it a little bit more on Saturday. And
Know the ledge.
Know the ledge. Saturday, 11 a.m. Check it out, guys, because there's a lot going on. And I know we've turned it into a Randall RJ thing, but it's more than just Randall and RJ.
Oh, yeah.
It's Quickly, it's Obi. As much as I want to give Obi credit for certain things, and I think Tibbs is really his minutes. Obi's playing around 14, 15 minutes. But when you look at what Obi's doing out there, look at his shooting. I think Obi's like 11 for 21 from
I'm not going to argue. His efficiency is way better than it was in the past.
It is.
Shooting wise.
Right.
That's it.
I know.
Where's the ball handling? Where's the
IQ?
The basket?
The IQ. The smarts, bro. The smarts.
What is this shit? What is that defensively? What is that? What is this? Just throwing up your one hand at a defender who's shooting a three who just knocked down a couple of threes already? Like, what is that?
Obi,
Close out, my man.
Getting John mad. You see him? He's mad up here. Don't do that, Obi. Don't get John mad.
He's my little brother, and you know what I'm saying. I can't even scold them.
CAA Mafia in the building. Salute. Yeah, guys. I know we can continue to talk about this, but we got to get out of here, and we want to get to the Queen show because she's about to come on right after us.
Facts.
But listen. All I was going to say is outside of all of this, what we haven't talked about is the front office. And we're going to talk about that a little bit more on Saturday. The front office has a lot to do with this because there's still some certain things that don't make sense. Because even this team is not a Tibbs team. You can see it. Like this is the guys on this team are not Tibbs guys. Not everybody's a Tibbs guy. There might be 2 or 3, maybe. But
I'm not even going to do that no more, Ron. Like
I know, I hear
I'm not gonna do that no more.
But it's like, coach. What are we dealing with? But but that's my problem. That's what if you're gonna put a team together like this, and you know that your coach is only effective when he has his people, then this is not the right coach for your team.
That's it. That's really where it comes down to. Because I'm not giving him escape on that.
I hear you.
You're the coach, you got the players, make the players play or sit their asses down if they ain't with it. Put a group out there who's going to fight for you and going to play for you. That's it. Bottom line, end the story. If they ain't willing to fight for you and play for you and put it out there and not get embarrassed, they don't need to be on, you don't need to be playing them. Force your front office to make a decision at that point. Make a decision whether they're going to stay with you or not, whatever. Like, I'm not catering to it no more, man. I'm not buying it. And Ashley Inc., I see that. November 5th, 1942. I'm right there. Maybe a year or two before 1942. I'm that old.
Yeah, he an old geezer, B. Old geezer. Anyway, thank you guys for tuning in. Once again, shout out to A-Trade, CA Mafia. Thank you guys for being here. Listen, if you're just tuning in, feel free to watch the beginning of the show, at some point. But right now, go over to Dope Soul Sports and check out the Queen Steph and her group of great people and on the panel that she's going to have as they chop it up. And I'm sure they're going to go deeper into this Knicks stuff, man. So, yeah, it is what it is, guys. The Knicks don't look good. And if they keep playing this way, it's going to be a very long season. First off, this 20 games, we're not even in the meat of it yet. These teams are tough, bro.
All right.
So, I don't know, guys.
Whole different discussions when we're 20 games in. If it still looks dire the way it's looking right now, there's a lot of moving parts that need to start happening.
As
the Wembanyama.
It's going to be the Wembanyama Rama.
Oh, my God.
Let's go. Shout out to my guy from the Jazz, for the Wembanyama Rama phrase. I like it.
Drama. That's really what it's going to be.
That's what it is. It's the Wembanyama drama, right?
For real.
All right, guys. We're out of here. Thank you for tuning in. John, final words?
As always, looking forward to the next one. Stay blessed, everyone out there. Be safe. And that's it. That's all I got. Catch you on the next one.
There you go. Shout out to my guy Jose on the ones and twos. He's not here tonight. He's doing other duties, but we are well versed in what Jose brings to the table. So we will be expecting him not next week, but the week after. We'll be back to full strength. La Tres Musqueritos, the three amigos, be back for you. Still Knicks fans in the building. As I say, tell a friend who tells a friend who tells another friend. Still Knicks fans. We'll be back again, whether it be on Know the Ledge on Saturday, SKF Weekly on Monday, or the NBA Report once again on Thursdays at 8 p.m. Check us out. We'll be here. The content is going to be here. We're just going to keep plugging along, man. Thank you guys for being here. Have a great night. Go check out Dope Soul Sports with the Queen Steph. Take care, y'all. Later. Run that.